welcome on into this video where today I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 top fixes to help you get your health habits back on track and massively increase your energy levels. So let's get into it. I ran this as a challenge recently with my community and the results were nothing short of incredible. I was so amazed by the difference that it made to people's lives within their energy, within their motivation. They were sleeping better, they were waking up feeling better, they were feeling energized to go and work out. So I really wanted to just bring it into a quick recap of what we went over in the challenge. But coming into these 5 fixes that I'm going to be sharing with you, I've been in the health and wellness industry a really freaking long time, literally since I left school. I went and studied sports science at university. I then went on to be a group exercise instructor. I've done nutrition courses. I've done every single workout under the sun. I've done probably every diet under the sun. And the one thing that I can share about all of the years of experience of working in health and wellness is the basics do not change. They stay the same. We are always looking for the next quick fix, whether you're going to go do the 5-2 diet or you're going to do the keto diet or you're going to do some 28-day shred, whatever it is. They all work. Every diet's work if you actually stick to them. But what we often go in search of this quick fix and a quick result without getting or laying the basic foundations. And I know it's not sexy or probably what you want to hear, but the slow and steady approach is the one that's going to help you to feel better for the long term, because it's not about looking a certain way. And yes, we do all want to feel more confident within our body. We want to feel healthy. We want to feel strong, and it does come down to those feeling a certain way. So the tips that I'm going to share with you today, they may sound basic, but how many of you are overlooking them? And when you apply these consistently, they have a huge impact on not only your energy levels but your motivation, and it's very closely linked to your willpower, your ability to stay on track. Because guess what, when you feel good, you feel more inspired to keep on with the work that you're doing. So let's get into it. Our very first one is hydration. Hydration is massively overlooked, and yet just a 2% drop in hydration levels can have a massive impact on your performance, whether that is your ability to concentrate on the task, whether it is your ability to have energy to get up and move around. It has such a massive impact on the way that we are able to show up in the world. Now, there are many different ways that you can measure, or, there's different formulas out there to tell you how much you should be drinking. And one is when we look at our body weight in pounds, half that, and then that would be the amount in ounces. Now, for our European friends, you might want to work that in litres. So you can do a quick Google check and just translate it over to Google. And the majority of adults, you're going to lie somewhere between 2 and 3 litres. But I want you to kind of get away from, it's nice to have a target to start with. However, one of the absolute best measures is to look down the toilet and check the colour of your pee. It is really that simple. And I'm going to put a little colour chart here somewhere that I got off the Bupa website, which really just shows what the colour of your pee should look like. If it is yellow and quite a strong coloured yellow, it's a surefire sign that your body needs more water. As 2% drop in your hydration levels can reduce your cognitive ability, it can reduce your concentration, it can reduce your reaction times, it can reduce your attention span, and even your ability to drop body weight can be compromised. That's how important it is. So here is how we're going to do it. You are going to either do the calculations if you feel that's what the guide that you need to do, or if you know that you just already don't drink enough plain water. And I'm talking plain water here. I'm not talking from tea, coffee, that can be as well as we're talking just plain straight water. So either use the calculation or just give yourself a 2 litre a day target, or look at incrementing slightly from where you are at. And I just want you to try it over like the next 7 days. My target was this is a litre. So I was aiming to have 2 to 3 of these a day. When I'm exercising, I'm obviously get more thirsty and I tend to need more. Also, as you start to drink more, your natural thirst mechanisms start to kick in, because we can often misunderstand feelings of hunger for actual thirst. So it's going to help you to tune into your body a little bit more. So that's all you're going to do over the next week or so. Just increase your hydration levels and just make a note, like note down the next day if you felt more energized, if you felt that you were on the toilet a lot, and that does happen, yes. And if you find that you're just peeing it straight out again, then you can put a little bit of rock salt into your water. That's going to help your body to retain it, because we want to absorb the water into the cell and not just pee it out all of the time. And then of course, use the colour chart. Check for the colour of your wee. If it's really yellow, you definitely need to drink more up. Fix number 2 is sleep. How many of us are giving it the respect and attention that it deserves? I don't know about you, but I love my sleep. I have always actually slept really well, but from working with thousands and thousands of different women over the years, I know that not everybody is as lucky as I am to have good sleep patterns. And I definitely can feel the difference. The times when I don't sleep well, I'm not an as effective human being. It affects my mood. It affects my ability to make good decisions with my food. And there is science backed behind that, because our rest and recovery, the time that our body repairs and regenerates, it happens when we're asleep. If you're not getting adequate amounts of sleep, then your body can't repair in the way it was designed to. It's also our hormonal reset. So when it comes to your hunger or satiety levels, so whether you're feeling starving or whether you're feeling satisfied, does come down to 2 important hormones, one of those being ghrelin. So ghrelin is the one that tells you that you're hungry. It is that panic, it is that pang in your stomach. And I like to think of it, it reminds me of like gremlins rumbling about wanting to like snaffle up things. So that has shown to be higher in people who don't get as much sleep. And then the converse of that, so the other flip side of that, is leptin. So leptin is the hormone that sends the trigger to the stomach to say you are full. If you are deprived of sleep, your leptin is lower. So we're fighting a losing battle with our health and with our ability to lose weight if we are not getting enough sleep. So it's super, super, super important. And like anything, it's going to be very specific down to the individual. Some people can cope much less with much less sleep. Some people need a little bit more. But again, we're keeping it simplistic. So we're going to go with a general rule between 6 and 8 hours. And I want you to think about the type of person you are. Think about how you feel when you wake up. Do you know the approximate amount of time that you feel best on? And work with that. So we have like smartwatches, we have sleeping apps, all these different things that we can help to measure it, because sometimes measuring it in the start can really help us to make the decision and decide what's going to be the best route. So I want you to think about what is the ideal time that you wake up. Have that set time, that's the time that you want to wake up, and it's going to help the body as we get in tune with our natural circadian rhythm, so our natural wake and sleep cycle. And if we're going to the bed at the same time every day and getting up at the same time, that's really going to help with our energy levels throughout the day. So we've decided on our time that we want to wake up. Now the body works in 90-minute sleep cycles, which meaning if you're going to be between 6 and 8 hours, you're going to be somewhere between 4 and 5 sleep cycles, depending on which end of the scale that you feel that you're best at. And then you're going to work back that 5 or 6 cycles backwards, and then that is going to be your sleep time. You've got that sleep and wake up time, stick with it for at least a week. It's as simple as that. Get your sleep in, get your water in, and notice the difference and changes that you start to feel within your body. Let's keep it simple, and do let me know in the comments how you would rate your current sleep pattern, because I know it's a huge problem for a lot of people. And some of the steps that we're going to move on to the next one are actually going to help, especially with people who struggle with sleep. And throughout the challenge that we ran, this was a huge one that people noticed that they started to sleep so much better. So coming in to step number 3. Step number 3 is breath. And now you might be thinking, I know, Emma, I breathe every day. It's a natural response. I don't have to think about it. And you're very right. This is an automatic response. It's something that our brain tells our body to do without us having to consciously think about it. But what I am talking about is conscious breathing, being actually aware of our breathing rate, because what's happened is we're living in a go society. We're always on the go, and what happens is that we're always, it's like we're breathing up in the chest at a much faster rate, and this means that the body's always in this fight or flight response. It's on like go, it's on the edge, it's ready for the day. But what the conscious breathing is, or slowing down the breath, is actually pulling the body out of that flight or fight response and bringing it back down into rest and digest, coming into that parasympathetic nervous system, the system where we feel calm, we feel more relaxed. Your body can actually, again, when we're in fight or flight, the digestive system isn't working effectively. We can have heightened levels in anxiety and stress response. Calming the body down on a regular daily basis is going to help you feel more calm, more focused. And again, on the other side of that comes the energy. So there are tons and tons of different breathing techniques out there, and there's a wide array, and it can get confusing. But through all of the different elements of research I looked into, they actually all do the same thing. It's like with diets, they all work. Don't overcomplicate it, simplify it. Start with a really simple one. So I'm going to give you a really simple one that I found that is really, it's just so easy to do. And all it is, it's going to be taking a breath in for 4 counts, holding for 7, and then breathe out for 8. And repeat 4 times. It's not even going to take you long. So breath in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. Just close your eyes, allow the shoulders to relax. We're going to do this first thing in the morning. We're going to do it again before you go to bed. And this is called the 4-7-8 technique. Not something that I came up with, something that I found on the wonders of the internet. But what I noticed from the people who took part in the challenge, who did it in the evening, literally as they're lying in bed waiting to go to sleep, for people who were found that they normally struggle to get to sleep quite quickly, got to sleep much quicker. And it is allowing that body to just get into that space of calm is massively going to help your relax and decompress and de-stress response. Fix number 4 is movement. Again, it ain't no big surprise that movement is going to be in here, but I'm not talking like super hardcore workouts. For the movement section, I'm talking about the things that you do in between your workouts or movement sessions. So this is looking at your needs. So your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this is looking at the amount of calories that you burn throughout a day. So if you think about like when you're sitting down, you probably burn like 15 calories an hour. When you're standing up, that increases slightly to about 15 calories an hour. But if you're up and about moving, that can increase to about 230 calories per hour. So as we are in a modern world where we are sitting at our desks a lot, we are moving around, we don't have to work as hard to get our food, everything is available at a click of a button, we are moving less. So this movement section is about adding more movement into your day. And again, super simple. You're going to do one of two things. You're either going to get up and walk around for 30 minutes per day. That could be 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunchtime, 10 minutes in the afternoon. Because if we're looking about those calories that we burn throughout the week, if it's been like at 15 calories an hour versus 230, if we're getting up and moving, if you count that up over the week, it's going to help you towards your health and fitness goals. It's going to help to increase your energy levels. I know that sometimes even before I come on and do a video, I'll like go and move around just to get my energy flowing, just to feel better. The more we move, the better we feel, and it massively affects those energy levels, what this 5-day fix is all about. So super simple. Either move for 30 minutes per day, and this would be on top of your normal exercise. So if you're working out like 3 times a week, I still want you to try and get that 30 minutes of movement per day, or 10,000 steps is a good guide to work towards. Again, looking back into the challenge group, some people like really, when they looked at how many steps they were taking per day, it was around like the 2,000 to 5,000 mark. And if you could increase that by double, it's going to have a big effect on your overall ability for those who are looking for fat loss to be able to impact that by just adding in more movement to your day. And fix number 5, it's one that I've talked about quite a bit on here actually, and I will link up to my 15-minute morning routine. I think it's this side here. But this was a really easy fix to do first thing in the morning. I am a huge advocate for a morning routine. But again, it doesn't have to be super complex and so much in there. And you've actually already been doing one of the elements with the breath work. So I'm talking about creating your energy first thing in the morning, because there is a huge difference. And when you are getting up in the morning, you're running around after everyone else and shoving breakfast down your neck, and then you're out your door off to work, although many people are not going off to work at the moment, but after doing the school run, versus when you've had a moment to center yourself first thing in the morning, to get intentional about what you want to have in your day, whether that is eating healthy, whether that is doing your movement, whether it is doing a workout, and saying these are the things that I want to include in my day, and this is what it's going to look like, and this is what this morning flow is all about. And it works in 3 parts. So the first part is you're going to spend 5 minutes just doing some breath work, calming the body, calm the mind. We've got our 4-7-8 technique that we talked about in the previous tip. You're already doing that. So if we do that first thing in the morning, the second one is to create a vision of what you want your day to look like. So like I've just said, you're going to allow yourself to just say, if I was showing up as my best self today, what would that look like? Allow that vision to run through your mind. If you feel compelled to, I talk about journaling a lot as well, and some people have resistance to that. If you've got pen and paper, quickly start to jot it down. What would that look like if you were going to start to show up as your best self today? And then the final one is to make a plan of that. Like, start to time block out your day. Give yourself enough space in the day to get done the things that you want to do, because a huge part of having energy to go after the life that we want, to continue to work on our goals and to continue to achieve our goals, is that we have this level of clarity about what it is that we're wanting to achieve. And I highly recommend the daily focus sheet, which I use within the Get Your Shit Together Life Planner. If you don't have a copy of this, I'm going to put the link down below. You can go and and download your free copy. You can print off this page, and this is an element where we look at what we want to achieve in our day. We have our gratitude ×5. We can time block out the day. So if you're spending some time first thing in the morning, you've taken the breath, you've calmed your mind, you've asked yourself, what do I want to achieve today? What will feel good? How do I want to show up? And then we're just writing it down and making a plan of what that's going to look like. It's going to have a massive impact on your energy and give you like the element to look forward to. I think we don't give ourselves enough opportunity to get excited about getting up and achieving things in our life. And I know that when we put that into our day on a consistent basis, you help to sustain that energy for a much longer time. And guess what? You're going to be able to keep up with these habits for longer because they are super simple, but we can often let them slack from time to time as well. So I'd love to know what you thought about this. If there is one fix that you're like, yes, I definitely need to implement that. I would love to, I'd just like to see your comments and see where you're at. So let me know down below. And of course, I'm going to put in there, if you want to download the planner, you can get access to that. And if you want to come and join us on the next challenge, get in touch, just drop me a message. There's so much coming up that I'm super excited to share for you. And thank you so much for checking this video out. If you are not already, or if this is your first time here, make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you can get notifications anytime I'm uploading a new video. So I've got lots of awesome content coming your way. I thank you so much for continuing all the way to the end. But most of all, make sure that you go and do these. Don't just read and watch and like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting. Go and quick freaking do it, because that is where your results are at.